We are back with part 5 of case 2 of Spirit of Justice, and Reddens is being a jerk. And so, we're going to argue that Roger Reddens and Trucy Wright have crossed paths before, since he was denying it. There must be some hidden connection. Hidden?
Did we present that poster already?
Did we? Let's see. Now, just the handwriting. What is it now? Because what are you getting at, Mr. Justice? It is futile to even ask, Your Honor. Surely it is just another one of the defense's feckless claims.
Objection!
You don't seem to have a very high opinion of me, but once you hear my argument, you'll wish you'd taken me a whole lot more seriously. Will I really? Very well then. Do proceed. Did you figure something out, Apollo? Nope, not a thing. What? This was just some good old-fashioned bluffing, courtesy of Mr. Wright's fine training. I hope you know what you're doing. If you're going to make such a bold claim, Mr. Justice, I hope you're ready to elaborate. What is this hidden connection between the defendant and Roger Reddens? Reddens is a magician, too.
Yeah.
He's the biggest fan. They're dating.
That's not dating, she's a kid.
Yeah.
We got a lot more trial to go on.
Yeah.
A 16-year-old.
Yeah, this is going to end up being case 4, if that's the case. Oh, I remember we needed this. What if Mr. Reddens is a magician too? What if? I believe it's up to the defense to fill in the blanks, not me. Well, if he is, he may have had some contact with Miss Wright somewhere along the way. Your argument is hardly worth responding to. But by all means, please do continue. As a passage in the sacred scriptures of Koranism states, he who gives a sermon to a monkey is himself a monkey. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you say to a dimwit, he isn't going to get it anyway. But we saw Mr. Reddens perform a magic trick. He made his video camera disappear in the blink of an eye. While I think it would be pretty funny if I were a magician, you must have been seeing things. Want me to introduce you to a good eye doctor? Oh, he's just going to deny it, is he? If a connection as tenuous as that is all it takes, then every magician in the country could potentially bear ill will toward the accused. I guess you're right. You're not the sharpest knife in the drawer, are you, short stuff? You would do well to cleanse that putrid mind of yours in the holy waters of Mount Panipani, or Pony Pony. 3 days under a frigid waterfall, and even you should rise to the level of a monkey. Ha ha ha, numbskull for a numbskull. Well, this numbskull has thick skin, so there. I think I'll get with the driving hat. Even if he is a magician, it's not exactly a reason to bear a grudge against Trucy, is it? Hold on. I can think of one person. One magician who has a reason to bear a grudge against Trucy. Or rather, one magician who has a reason to bear a grudge against Shukumarie. Oh? No. No way! Is something wrong, Mr. Justice? Your Honor, the defense wishes to submit evidence at this time. I think I know what's going to happen, but not 100%. Evidence that points to the real killer, the one who had a motive to commit the crime. What? This freaking guy. What if you come up with this time, defense? Trucy Wright is the sole heir to Shukumarie and its name. This puts her square in the crosshairs of one particular magician. And this piece of evidence points to that one person with a grudge against Miss Wright. Is this the poster?
I think it's poster.
Mr. Mysterious was ousted. Are we saying he's mysterious?
Take that!
That's what I was thinking, but I'm like, who exactly are you naming, Mr. Justice? 13 years ago, the great Mysterious belonged to Troupe de Marie, but then the troupe ousted him, and Mysterious vowed to get revenge on them someday. What better way to accomplish that than through the ruination of their sole heir? The Mysterious is the victim, Mr. Justice. You've named a dead man as your suspect. But is he really dead? What do you mean, is he really dead? If the fact that Mysterious is the victim is what's throwing you off, then how about we consider this possibility? What if the man who died on that stage yesterday wasn't Mysterious? What? You mean the victim was an imposter? Not Mysterious? Then what about the real Mysterious? It would mean the real Mysterious is still alive. That's absurd. Now this is a twist.
A while ago, if he was really dead. But you said, of course he is, when he had a body.
You thought it was an imposter then?
No, but I had thought maybe he really wasn't dead because they dropped that thing. But, I mean, we did an autopsy report, right?
Yeah. So here's what I want to know. If we're saying Reddens is Mysterious, then did the guy who pop out, was he Mr. Reddens, and then another dead body was there? Or did he kill somebody and place him in there?
Maybe he swapped spots with the real radiation.
Yeah. Because they're saying the blood was added, but that would explain how he got in the coffin, because he was alive, and then how the guy was dead before, and he just needed to be swapped. It's all coming together now. I finally see the gimmick, the trick to this entire case. This should explain everything, Your Honor. The real killer, the one who hated Troupe de Marie and wanted to sully its name.
He had a scar on his arm. Because remember, he had a scar because he had a really bad accident. This one doesn't have the scar on his arm.
Oh. Here we go. This guy's 35? I'm 2 years older than him. Okay.
Take that!
But that's... Yes, it is. Roger Reddens is the real Mysterious. What? Him?
Objection!
Oh, hollow red pepper, your impotent seeds sprout not but meaningless empty words. I'm a hollow red pepper? You can't possibly have proof to support such an outlandish theory. It's not a bad idea for a soap opera, but not even die-hard fans of the genre would stick around past the pilot. You want proof? Well, I've got proof. I can prove it by proving that the Mysterious in yesterday's magic show was a fake. So hold up a second.
He's got a scar.
That's right. And we can't see Mr. Reddit's arm because he has that shirt. And to do that, I just need to point you to this spot on the poster.
Take that!
Good eyes, babe. This is the injury Mysterious sustained while practicing a magic trick 13 years ago. However, the video the victim shot up himself shows no trace of that injury.
Objection. He's got a really good plastic surgery.
Oh my, you're absolutely right. Now, Mr. Reddens, what do you suppose we'd find if we took a look at your right forearm? Is there by chance a nasty 13-year-old scar under that sleeve of yours?
Oh, he's not too calm.
I want to see him sweat. Well, Mr. Reddens,
He's not gonna sweat.
why don't you roll up your sleeve and let the court have a look? Or are you hiding something else up there? Ha, 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 ha. Come on now, I have nothing up my sleeve. I don't need to hide anything up there because I require no tricks or gimmicks. For you see, my magic is the real deal.
It
Is this what you were hoping to see? Oh, there it is, the scar. Just as I thought. That's right, I am the Forgotten Magician, abandoned to the dark understage of history. The Great Mysterious. This is totally absurd. Yeah. Ho ho ho! How ironic, wouldn't you say? That the Zodia's mark carved into me by Trutkin Marie would bring me back into the limelight once more. Strange are the karmic threads before me. If the witness is the real Mysterious, then who is the victim who perished in the magic show? He was but a fan. I met him on one of my programs several years ago. He said he had become a magician out of the admiration of the Great Mysterious. In confidence, I told him my true identity and let him take on my mantle. And when did this man take over for you? About 2 years ago. I taught him my tricks and even acted as his promoter. Promoter or producer? Producer. So, a mere amateur became a popular magician overnight. Courtesy of my magic on the stage we call television. Hope you enjoyed the show. You really had us fooled. Mr. Reddens, or should I say Mysterious. In your hatred of Chutgamari, you killed the victim, Mr. Mystery, and then set up Miss Right to take the fall, didn't you? You did it all just to tarnish the Grimarie name. Ho ho ho, I have no idea what you're talking about, lad. I set up the prank, that much is true, but it was simply a harmless joke on Trucy, I assure you. Yet she learned of the plan and made use of it to commit murder. That is how strongly the criminal element runs in the blood of these Grimaries. But if it was a secret prank plan that very few people knew about, couldn't you have been the one to use it for murder instead? Ah! Yikes! Eek! His head! Yeah, just kidding. What the heck was that? Heed my words, lawyer lad, for I fear your grasp on reality is slipping. I do believe I told you that my magic is real. It employs neither tricks nor gimmicks. Enough with the ambiguity. Why don't you make your point already? My alibi is as pristine as ever. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Sadmadhi? Yes, I suppose that is correct. The witness does have a solid alibi. What? Because he was at the station, is what they're going to say, right? Recall, defense, that at the time of the magic show, Mr. Reddens was at Take-Two TV. A fact that many people can easily attest to. Yeah, that's right. I forgot all about that. Ho, ho, ho. So what do you think, Your Honor? Would you like me to testify on the matter? Yes, I think you'd better. Please tell the court more about your alibi. Very well, then. On with the show. Are you watching, Magnifique Grimarie? The time has finally come for my magic to snuff out your precious pedigree. The Grimarie line will be no more. Well, at least he's showing he has a motive. I cannot wait for this guy to lose his cool. I was at the TV station at the time of the Penrose performance. I was busy working on another TV program. I could spare no time for the magic show. Do ask my staff if you doubt my claim. There it is, a simple and perfect alibi. No tricks, no gimmicks, just the truth. Do you understand now, perhaps? I did not grace the theater with my presence until after the incident. How could I have committed the murder? His staff did say he was there at the station, so it sure does sound like a rock-solid alibi. But that can't be right. If Mr. Reddens is the killer, he'd have to have been at the theater. There's got to be a hole somewhere in the story. I assure you, there are no holes on Mysterious' stage. No tricks, no gimmicks. True magic doesn't need trapdoors to escape through. Do enjoy my show to the fullest, and my real alibi.
Hold it!
But you did come to the theater eventually, isn't that right? Indeed, anxious to see how the show was progressing, I made my way to the theater. Let's see, my journey took about 10 minutes by car. Could he actually have been to the theater during those 10 minutes killing the victim? Ho, 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 allow me a stab at reading your mind. Aha! Could I have been at the theater during those 10 minutes killing the victim? How in the... But no, I took a taxi. The driver can attest to that. Feel free to call the taxi company if my word does not satisfy you. The driver is a big fan of the ratings, Raja. I even gave him my card. I gave the driver his card. That was very clever of him. You might as well give it up, lad. Questioning real magic is a fool's errand. Besides, you know very well what I was doing at the time of the incident.
The neighbor was asking about pancakes.
It was on today.
Hold it!
What was this other TV show you were working on? My own special project, you see. One moment. Perhaps this is more appropriate. It's called Desperation Regeneration. You switch personas just to say that? What's the show about? Washed-up has-been singers and comedians get together and play musical chairs. The winner of the game is given a second chance at their career. A priceless prize for chumps who washed up too early in life. Sounds great, right? Might I suggest you appear on that show, Mr. Justice? As the ex-lawyer who used to make ridiculous bluffs in court and faded sadly into obscurity. I let the rating Raja produce my TV debut, none in this lifetime.
I have a question about how you can be so nice and pure, but like, this isn't horrible thing called hurt.
Yeah, like what does he have against Apollo?
I don't know, but he should be like, he seems like so calm, mellow, and like a yogi or whatever, but he's just nice.
He is a very, very, very awful, awful person. Or he's another Edgeworth, Franziska von Karma kind of person, or Godot, or Black Will. I don't say Clavier because he wasn't a bad guy, even in the courtroom. At least I didn't think so. Yeah, great reactions. Who knows? TV might be your true calling. Hey, whose side are you on? In any case, I was overseeing production of this program during the Penrose performance.
Hold it!
How do we know those staff members aren't in cahoots with you? I make it my business to perform solo. My magic has neither need nor want of assistance. After all, one of them could reveal the secrets behind my magic, could they not? So he doesn't trust anybody, huh? He's the complete opposite of Chusey. There were many people there in the studio audience who saw the witness as well. Even if he had been able to persuade his own staff to cover for him, he could not have convinced so many complete strangers to do the same. He really has made a rock-solid alibi for himself. Yeah, it's almost too good, you know? It's eerie how perfect it is. Has all been revealed to you now? And there it is. A simple, perfect alibi. No tricks, no gimmicks, just the truth. I've got it. Do you have a brother? A brother that looks exactly like you, maybe. Again with the twins business? You think the audience will let you get away with using the same gimmick twice in a row? If you do not believe him, Defense, why not investigate for yourself? Though I am sure your efforts will prove to be thoroughly fruitless. Yeah, I guess the twins theory is a little far-fetched. His alibi really is airtight. I believe we've heard enough. While I believe the witness does indeed harbor some ill will against the defendant, there is no reason to doubt that he was at the TV station at the time of the incident. Yes, the facts prove it was impossible for the witness to have been involved with this crime.
I don't think it proves that he couldn't have been involved. It just means he wasn't involved right then.
Yeah.
Because he's got, like, the hook on the back of his pants. We saw, like, a weird shadow. Like, he could have been put into that coffin prior to even going over to the studio. Like, we have some options here.
Yeah. It's not airtight. Although I gotta say, his, just as a story thing, his change in persona is actually pretty cool because he's been such a pompous little ass, you know, that I just, like, can't wait to stick it to him. These last rites for the victim have dragged on long enough. And this guy, too. I can't wait for him where all his little prediction about the, case just is blown up. It is? The time has come. Let us punish the sinner and guide the victim's soul to the twilight realm. Apollo Trusu will be thrown in prison and will be out of the job. But if you catch tasty fishies, will you sell me some at a good price? I told you I have absolutely zero intention of going off on a tuna boat. Think, Justice, you have to figure this out. It's no use. I can't find a single flaw, so what now? Ho, 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 behold my never-ending magic show. Come for the awe-inspiring showmanship of the great mysterious, and stay for my grand illusion until the end of time. Ha! Ha 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 ha! Wait, is he saying that we're still trapped inside some sort of illusion of his? That's what professional magicians do. They make their audience see something that isn't really there. In other words, you make us see illusions, right? We call it misdirection. While we keep you busy believing one thing, we're busy making something else happen. What we say is, there really isn't, and what we say isn't there actually is. Could it be? You know what, Mr. Reddins? I guess we have all been spectators to the elaborate illusion you've prepared for us. An illusion that has subtly turned our attention towards something you wanted us to see. What are you going on about, lad? Have you got something, Apollo? I just remembered something Trucy said about misdirection. When a magician says, is there really isn't, and what they say isn't, there actually is. If we've all been taken for a ride in Mr. Reddins' magic, then maybe he's made us see something that wasn't really there. It's time to rethink all my assumptions about this case. What if we've been made to believe was there when it actually wasn't? What have we taken to be the absolute facts of this case? If I reevaluate the validity of all these things, then just maybe. Athena, there's something uncanny about this case. Is it just me, or am I just... Is this really intriguing? I want to know what the heck the whole... What is the misdirection? I am kind of intrigued. Okay, what is it? Reddins' alibi. It's too perfect. That's true, it's like it's impossible to break no matter how hard we try. But maybe that's the trick. Maybe that's exactly what he wants us to think. I'm not following. We're not making any headway here because we've been so focused on breaking his alibi. Oh, I think I get it. You're saying he's using misdirection on us, right? It's definitely a possibility. Ahem, would the defense care to share with everyone what it's discussing over there? Your Honor, we believe that if we were to reconsider a certain assumption, we may finally arrive at the truth. In fact, I think we'll even finally see who's hiding behind the curtain, so to speak. And what is this certain assumption you're thinking of? This is the one key assumption we've been taking for granted this whole time. Roger Reddit's guilt, the culprit was on scene, the crime scene.
I think the culprit was on scene, right?
Yeah, because I think the idea we have is that he didn't have to be on scene. What if the culprit was somewhere other than the theater at the time of the crime? What if there was some way to commit the murder without actually being there? And if that were the case, then Mr. Redison's perfect alibi would become irrelevant.
Objection.
How could one person stab another to death with a sword without physically being there? Furthermore, we all saw what happened to be the culprit's shadow in the footage.
Objection.
But couldn't we just as easily assume the shadow does not belong to the culprit? Well, if it's not the culprit's, then whose is it? I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm on the right track. We've all seen something that looks like this shadowy shape before, Your Honor. Mr. Hat, during the magic show itself. In that case, please point it out in the show footage for us. This is the thing that looks suspiciously similar to the shadowy figure of the culprit.
Take that.
Mr. Justice, how does that even remotely resemble this shadowy... Oh, we gotta go to the actual shadow! I thought it looked pretty similar, do you not think so? Not in the slightest. Oh, that's funny. It looked pretty shitty to me. Maybe I should try slowing the video down, taking a better look. Okay. Oh wait, I think it's a little back. Or maybe it's not back. There we go, okay. There we go.
Take that.
Doesn't the shadow resemble the suspicious shadowy figure? Now that you mention it, it does, doesn't it? Miss Wright, could you identify the shadow for the court? Let's see. I believe that's Mr. Hat's shadow. It's from when he's being pulled up from the stage to the catwalk overhead by wire. Then, could the shadow that's shown later in the footage be Mr. Hat too? No, that's not possible. After Mr. Hat was pulled up to the catwalk, he stayed up there. In other words, the second shadow is from some other figure being pulled up. Some other figure, I'm afraid you'll need to be more specific than that, Mr. Justice. He's right, we've come this far. Just have to figure it out from the clues I have on hand. What is the second shadow shown in the footage? Let's see. We did, and it's just an empty bucket.
Could be him. He set the thing around your face.
You know?
Take that.
If we consider what was happening on the stage at the time, there's only one answer. The shadow belonged to the fake Mysterious. In other words, Mr. Man of Mystery. The victim? Please take a look at the prank plan script. Mr. Mystery was to pretend to be dead and then fly up into the air after that. Isn't that right, Mr. Reddins? Indeed, and what of it? I contend that that's exactly what happened. victim was wearing a stunt harness around his waist. It was most likely attached to the stunt wire so that he could be pulled up into the air. So you're suggesting that, after pretending to be dead in the coffin, the victim flew up into the air just as the prank script says. Exactly. We just couldn't see him go flying up because the dragon was blocking our view. And that last trick, ladies and gentlemen, is the true piece de resistance of the culprit's murderous magic show. There we go. Don't tell me you've got it all figured out? Yes, I think so. If we can just look beyond Mr. Reddence's last bit of misdirection, we should finally be able to see the real truth. Magnum must have been pulled up to the catwalk just like Mr. Hat. He hit the cushioning up there with considerable force. I just have to figure out what else happened up there at that time. Are you ready to elaborate, Mr. Justice? Yes, Your Honor, I'm ready. In that case, please answer me this. Why did the culprit make the victim fly up into the air like that?
I'm starting to wonder if it was actually the murder hit.
Two. So why would the victim going up falsify an alibi? So why did the culprit have the victim fly up after he appeared in the coffin? And how did the victim actually die? He was only pretending to be dead in the coffin. If we can figure out these two questions, how these two questions relate, the answer should become clear. Could it be Mr. Mystery must have thought he was still just part of a prank when he appeared on stage. He probably didn't suspect a thing as he was being pulled into the air. But after Miss Wright was called backstage, and just as the set piece fell, the culprit had already planted the real murder weapon in a cushion in the catwalk. Ooh! It was probably a knife or blade of some sort. What? You mean... Yes, it really was a magical murder. Just as the prank script said, Mr. Mystery was whisked up into the air and straight into a blade there in the catwalk. In other words, this murder was committed remotely through the use of a magic trick. What? Remotely? Using this method, it wouldn't matter where Mr. Reddens was at the time of death. Yeah. But how exactly does it work, Mr. Justice? Just before the murder occurred, the dragon set piece was up in the catwalk, and it and Mr. Man of Mystery were connected to each other by a wire at the time. By carrying out the prank plan, Betty made the dragon set piece fall, which caused Mr. Mystery to rocket straight up and into the blade in the cushion. The cushion was high up enough to be hidden from the audience's view. That's why nobody saw the blade. Oh, then that big gash in Mr. Hat's cape. The blade must have been set up overhead sometime before the magic show. Mr. Hat must have been slashed by it too when he was pulled up by the cushion. I can't believe it. I had no idea. I was told that Trucy would freak out if I made the set piece fall. That's the only reason I did it. You were used, Betty. Roger Reddens used you. I thought he was my little puppet to boss around, but it was the other way around. After the incident occurred, Mr. Reddens arrived at the theater. He got the murder weapon and swapped the rubber sword with the bloodied steel one. That's also when he lowered the victim's body down to the stage. But how did he have time to do all that? When the set piece fell, the audience was evacuated from the building. He was able to do all those things after the fact, because there was no one around to see. A horrific murder camouflaged by a spectacular magic show, that sounds like the kind of murder only a magician can pull off. As long as the show proceeded as it was scripted, Mr. Mystery was doomed to die. That's why it was you, Mr. Reddens, who killed the victim all the way from the TV station. This prank plan, or should I say murder plan, proves your murderous intent. Grammarye!
Satura ima o mandomo samashi de tashi no ketaragase o soroka!
Enough. You dim-witted, ignorant, imbecilic, putrid red pepper. Wow. He can't possibly have a counter-argument to make. Talk about not knowing when to let it go and move on. Do you have a rebuttal or something, Prosecutor Sunbody? No blade of any kind was found in the catwalk, which means you have no evidence to support your theory. But Mr. Reddens retrieved it after the fact, which still leaves you with no way to prove your wildly fantastic remote murder theory. But without proof, does it not make more sense to believe that the murder was committed there on the stage? That's where the bloodstained sword was found, after all. That is a very good point. As the only person who could have committed the crime there on that stage, Trucy Wright remains the prime suspect. It would appear that what you call truth is little more than a cheap parlor trick. In the end, you have done nothing to prove the accused's innocence. It is time at last to let it go and move on. Ho 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 ho! Are you seeing this, magnifique Grammarye? My magic is exacting punishment. Whoops. On your granddaughter. The Grammarye name is done for. Apollo, we need to hit them with a decisive piece of evidence here. I know, that's just what I was thinking. Mr. Justice, do you or don't you have anything to prove that the witness committed this remote murder you proposed? Of course I do, Your Honor. This entire incident was carried out exactly according to the script. Right, so theoretically there should be no evidence for us to find or use. Which means our best bet is to see if something unscripted happened. There's gotta be something Reddens couldn't have foreseen, and once I find it, that's how I'll expose his murderous trick. Get ready, Mr. Reddens, because I'm about to reveal the secret to your magic. There are no tricks or gimmicks here, just some good old-fashioned logic. As long as the magic show went as scripted, murder would happen without fail. Everything in this case was carefully planned so that no evidence would be left behind. Still, one thing happened that definitely wasn't in the plan. What part of the magic show wasn't a part of the show's original script? The set piece falling definitely was.
How Bonnie's asleep.
Yeah. Bonnie made a mistake during Trucy's escape trick. What mistake did Bonnie make during the magic trick? Her life choices? Mr. Hat's position. Her life choices. I almost want to pick that for fun, but... Because Bonnie placed Mr. Hat in the right of the coffin instead of to the left, Trucy had to reappear on the side of the coffin opposite to the one in the show script. But the culprit didn't know that when he first arrived at the theater, which means he was bound to make a slip-up when he tampered with the crime scene. Which part of the culprit's cover-up attempt was affected by Trucy's new position?
Blood in the coffin hole. Because I think that when he fidgeted with something, I think he put the sword in the wrong spot, didn't he? She thrust it in the right. If you're looking at it, it's in the right side, but then when you're at the crime scene, it was in the left side.
Okay. Thinking Trucy had appeared on the left, the culprit must have put the blood in the left hole. But the blood was eventually discovered in the right hole during the police investigation. If the killer had originally put the blood on the left side, that means he must have tampered with the scene again afterwards to make it line up with the facts. To make the crime seem consistent with the facts, the culprit must have wiped out the fingerprints, swapped the coffin sides, dropped the set... Okay, he didn't drop the set piece. Either wipe off the fingerprints, or swap the coffin sides.
Well, he's on the coffin side.
Oh, wait. So do we think it's that? I mean, there are still fingerprints, so... That's right, the left and right panels of the coffin are interchangeable. The culprit must have switched the two panels to make the bloodstain fit the facts, but the switch might have also given rise to something unnatural. Oh, I remember now, there was something unnatural about the coffin, and it's just the evidence I need. Sorry, Mr. Reddins, but I have some very conclusive proof of your guilt. Another bluff, is it? There's no way you have anything of the kind. My magic is real, no trick. No, there are tricks and gimmicks to it, just like any other illusion. What? After the murder, you switched the left and right panels of the coffin, didn't you? Yeah. And because you did, you left behind something very unnatural for us to find. This proves that Roger Reddins tampered with the crime scene, because we were wondering why that looked so awkward. Right? Because I remember, like, his arms would have to be crossed or some weird thing. The fingerprinting results. What about the fingerprints is unnatural? Let's take a look at the prints the victim left inside the coffin, shall we? If the victim were facing forward in the coffin, his print should have looked like this. However, what we found was they were facing the opposite direction. It's quite unnatural for the prints to be facing this way, wouldn't you agree? Ah. It is strange, isn't it? But how did they get this way? They got this way because the culprit thought the magic show had gone according to script. The culprit thought Mr. Hat would be on the left side of the coffin. And then Miss Bright would also pop up on the left side of the coffin as per the show's script. He then assumed she had thrust the sword into the hole on the left side of the coffin. That's why he put blood in the left hole when he was trying to cover up the crime. But sometime after leaving the bloodstain, the culprit realized his mistake. He found out that due to Bonnie's mistake, Mr. Hat was to the right of the coffin. And that despite the script, Miss Wright had thrust the sword into the hole on the right. In short, the hole with the blood in it was on the side opposite the one that Trucy used. To make the blood's location fit the facts, he had to tamper with the evidence yet again. So he tried to cover his tracks by switching the coffin's left and right panels. Oh, and that's how the fingerprints in the coffin ended up backwards. Because the culprit switched the two side panels around, the prints ended up facing the opposite direction. But instead of going to all that trouble with the panels, why didn't the culprit just wipe the blood away and redo it on the other side? I'm afraid that wouldn't have worked, Your Honor, because of a little something called luminol testing. Ah, right, luminol, I almost forgot. Luminol can detect trace amounts of blood, even if it's been wiped away, right? That's right, wiping the blood away would have only served as proof of his meddling. How about it, Mr. Reddins? I did a pretty good job figuring out your trick, didn't I?
Objection!
Trucy Wright could have done the same just as easily. You have no proof that it was the witness who tampered with the evidence. Ah, but I do have proof. What? A person who was in the magic show would never have made the mistake of putting the blood on the wrong side. Least of all Miss Wright, who surely would have remembered she was on the other side. Oh my, you're absolutely right. Why, you impudent! I'm sure you've realized by now, Prosecutor Sadmadhi, that your claim that Miss Wright is the culprit just doesn't hold up. Fair. You and the accused are most certainly bound for hell. Really? Miss Wright and I? Because I think you're the one with a ticket there for trying to convict an innocent girl. Dang, man! Yeah! Oh!
Here.
Oh, ho, ho.
Prosecutor Sanmadhi, are you alright? As for the true culprit, he is someone who knew how the show was supposed to go but didn't actually see it, and someone who had the chance to tamper with the crime scene after the incident. And the only person who fits the bill is you, Roger Reddens. Amari! All of the secrets to your tricks have been revealed. And with no more tricks left, I'm afraid your show has been canceled permanently. Alright, let's see the meltdown. All of my secrets have been revealed, you say. Don't make me laugh, boy. Mine is the true real magic. There are no secrets to reveal. Behold, ladies and gentlemen, the true power of the Great Mysterious. Witness a magic far greater than Troop Gamarier's. Burn! Crumble! Fall to my furious flames. The Great Mysterious will bring an end to you all. And now for the final heir to the Gamarier name, right here, right now, you too shall burn. Huh? No, this isn't right. Oh, this is creepy. No, I didn't do anything wrong. No, it's not my fault. I'm not the one to blame. I'm the victim here. What? Stop. No. Curse you, Gamarier! Well, that was a little creepy. How does he do a magic show and his own masked face pops up? Oh. Curse those Gamariers. It's all because of them. Even now they wound me. Curse them all to the abyss. Do you really hate us that much? Does your hatred run that deep? Deep enough to kill an innocent man? You're damn right. You have no idea what humiliations I had to suffer. Your grandfather, Magnifique Dermarier, kicked me out after I got hurt practicing my magic. He said I was too unskilled, that I would mess up on stage. He threw me out of the troupe just because he was worried about his own reputation. Since I was but a child, it was always my dream to become a great magician. But that Magnifi, he took it all from me. But that's no excuse. That's no reason to do something so evil. Magic is supposed to make people happy, not used as a means for murder. What's the big deal? I just used what I had available to me, that's all. I get it now. That attitude toward magic is why my grandfather kicked you out. You don't deserve to call yourself a magician. Don't deserve? I don't know about that. After all, you were completely taken in by my magic, were you not? If not for that lawyer over there, you would be on your way to prison as we speak. You're right. I didn't see through your tricks. You see? So in the end, Troop Gamarier was defeated by the Great Mysterious. Ho, ho, ho. You're not fit to lecture me from on high, Trucy Wright. You don't even deserve to call yourself a magician, you naive greenhorn. Gwahahahaha. Gahahaha. Take that, Grimarier, you lose. If anyone needs to learn to let it go and move on, it's this guy. Gahahahaha. This court and my prison can both burn in the flames of my creation. Gwahahahaha. Bailiff, take Mr. Reddens away, and bring a fire extinguisher just to be safe. It looks like we've reached the end. I feel as though I've been watching a grand magic show. It was close, but we just barely made it through somehow. Aww. Trucy. She looks so sad. Why does Trucy look so down? Miss Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I'm about to announce my verdict. Could I see that wonderful smile of yours, that smile of a true entertainer as I do? Yes, Your Honor. Now then, this court finds the defendant Trucy Wright
Guilty.
Court is adjourned. Thank you for everything, Polly. Oh, Trucy, grazie a Dio. Now you can open your show tomorrow, just as planned. Yep, and it's all thanks to you two. Oh, but now that Mysterious is gone, I'll need to find somebody to replace him. I don't like the way she's looking at me. Trucy, I'm so sorry about everything. Hey, what are you apologizing for? Roger Reddens used us. We're victims too. He even made me an accomplice to murder. But Betty, we have to take some of the blame for this too, you know. Even if we didn't know he was planning to kill Mr. Mystery, we did cooperate with him. It's all my fault, isn't it? Neither of you is to blame. The only one in the wrong is the person who used magic to commit murder, Roger Reddens. Huh, don't you think I know that? Say what you want, but don't you think for a second that I don't still hate you. I guess she really does hate me. But Betty, why? You used to be a huge fan of Trucy's. Hey, shut up. I've always hated her. Really? But if we hadn't seen Trucy's magic show, we never would have tried to become professional magicians ourselves, right? Speak for yourself. But Betty, you still have her autograph from... Gar, just shut up. From that day. Was she acting that way this whole time because she secretly loves Trucy? Wow, Trucy, I never knew that being the best could be so tough. Come on, Bonnie, we're leaving. We have to get ready for tomorrow's show. Hee hee, you're really excited about performing with Trucy again, aren't you? That's not true, so zip it, dummy.
I wouldn't work with you. See how you mind?
Well, I don't see what's wrong with working with Bonnie.
Bonnie's
Yeah, Bonnie's okay.
Betty's.
No, Betty's a secret fan.
Betty's
Holly, do you think I really am a naive greenhorn? Huh? No way, she's not. After all, you were completely taken in by my magic, and after the lawyer over there, you'd be in way to prison. You're right, I didn't see through your tricks. You see, so in the end, Chukamaru was defeated by the great Mysterious. Ho ho. You deserve to call yourself a magician, you naive greenhorn. Trucy, don't tell me you're taking what Redden said to heart. Well, maybe a little. I didn't see through his tricks, and I let myself be taken in by his magic. I can't... Maybe he was right to call me a greenhorn. You shouldn't take stock in his words. He doesn't even know the first thing about you. a magician. You should be proud of yourself. Thank you, Apollo, but what makes you say that? I know you're a wonderful magician because of this. Is it Trucy's note? Because we've never used that note, but no, we used it once.
Is it that? The notebook?
Oh yeah!
Take that!
My grandfather's notebook. The Gramarye Creed. A true entertainer always keeps a smile on their face. When you perform your magic trick in court today, you showed the world your dedication to your troop's creed. Even through all the jeering, you kept a smile on your face and won the crowd over. You are everything Magnifi could have hoped for in an heir. You're a great magician, Trucy. A great magician? Me? You really are. That's why you don't have to worry about what Reddin said. Oh, Polly, thank you. Still, I couldn't have done it without you. I would have lost my nerve if I'd been alone up there. But I was able to keep on smiling because of you. Me? I remember what you said to me in the detention center. After all, you're sure you swapped the swords, right? Get out, kitty! Yes, I remember doing it, but I just know it wasn't your fault, Trucy. But how can you say that? We don't have any proof it wasn't me. I mean, I know you're a great lawyer, Polly, but I believe in you, Trucy, and I believe in your skill as a professional magician. So I'm going to prove your innocence. Don't worry, you're going to be fine. Your words were what kept me going. Apollo, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now I can be everything I was meant to be. Trucy's real smile is the best. I'm so glad I could help make that happen. Emma? I'm really sorry, Trucy, for everything. But why? Well, I was... Kitty. I wasn't able to convince Prosecutor Sadmadhi what a good person you are. And I had to testify against you, too. You have nothing to apologize for. You were just doing your job. You're too kind. Oh, I don't know about... Huh? Is something wrong, Emma? Oh. Prosecutor Sadmadhi, what are you doing here? Detective Sky. Yes? I require your forensic expertise in order to close this case. Come, let us go. Wait, Prosecutor Sadmadhi! The trial is over, Mr. Justice. You and I are strangers once more with no further need to interact. Strangers? Have you really forgotten all about me? What? You've really changed, Nayuta. Telling me to let it go and stuff? I have nothing to say to the likes of you. Are you serious, Nayuta? Now, if you will excuse me... There he goes. What was that all about, Apollo? How do you know Prosecutor Sadmadhi? Let's just say we're old acquaintances. Acquaintances? It seemed like something more than that. Yeah, well... You don't like to talk about your past, do you? Because you always change the subject. I guess I'll have to talk about it someday, but for now... Come on, let's forget about the past and celebrate Trucy's future. Sure, if you say so. Hey, it's Mr. Wright! Put him on speakerphone, Apollo. What's up, Mr. Wright? Apollo, how's Trucy? What happened at the trial? Did you get a not guilty verdict? Mr. Wright, slow down. Everything's fine. Hi, Daddy. I'm okay now. She was found not guilty in a very dramatic turnabout. Plus, we saved the office. It was a great victory for Apollo. Phew, that's a load off my mind. I can't thank you enough, Apollo. Now I know I can trust you to hold down the fort anytime. Me? Really? Yes, you. You're a real full-fledged lawyer now in my eyes. A full-fledged lawyer? I still can't wrap my mind around it. Thank goodness you were there to take care of everything. And thank you, Apollo. No need to go that far, boss, especially not in front of everyone.
Oh, and by the way, I won't be able to make it to tomorrow's show, so I was hoping you could go. You'll do that for me, won't you? Of course, I wouldn't miss it for the world. Full-fledged. So Daddy asked you to come to tomorrow's show, huh? As my assistant, right? No, he just asked me to go cheer you on. Okay, then I'll be sure to save you the best seat in the house, Polly. The best seat in the house? I really appreciate the thought, but... Good, then it's settled. Oh, what the heck? What's this new... Oh, this must be a show. I should have known. Ah! This is what she meant. Magical girl Trucy Wright will now perform her greatest illusion yet. There are no tricks or gimmicks here, ladies and gentlemen. This is real magic. Wait a minute, you're kidding, right? There is a trick or gimmick, right? I'm too young to die. Now then, Mr. Hat, you know what to do with that sword. No, wait, stop! No! And that is how Trucy and Grimaria Land ended on a rousing high note, with a big round of applause and Polly's ear-splitting screams. What kind of an ending is that? So, Apollo and Trucy deserve to know that they're related.
They don't.
One day.
Yeah, we still gotta figure out how Sadmadhi knows them.
Yeah, I'm curious about Sadmadhi. And I'm also curious if the next case we're going to be seeing Maya.
Okay.
Until then,